that doesn't really help to install those if we still have all this space up above near the roof, right?
Right.
Right.
I just zoned out. What were you saying? Sorry. 30 more days of Hyperadobe Solar Shed, day 47.
The Dirtbag Prince.
We're still doing that.
We're still doing that. Hey, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Ashley.
We're Tiny Shiny Home, and we've noticed a lot of new people following us lately, and we've been so busy working on this Hyperadobe Solar Shed day in and day out. We're on almost this is day 47. We haven't really gotten to introduce ourselves or take the time to really explain what it is we're doing here. So we thought it would be good to take a step back and just sort of explain who we are, why we're in the middle of the desert, and what the purpose of this building is, and what we're going to do next.
So let's start from the beginning. We're a family of 6. We do have 4 children. We are still living in our renovated Airstream after 5 years of traveling in it full time.
All over the country, everywhere.
Yeah. Traveling had us fall in love with off-grid living, and that is why we bought this property out here in Cochise County, Arizona.
Yeah, and part of that reason too is also the owner-builder opt-out, which lets us build unique buildings like this Hyperadobe Solar Shed with minimal permits and inspections, but also because it allows us to live in our Airstream while we build this and eventually our house. We have lots of plans for out here, so let's talk about that for a minute. What are we going to do on this 11 acres that we bought in the middle of the desert?
Well, we've already started our homestead, so we have goats and pigs and chickens and rabbits and a dog.
And a cat.
And a cat.
Anything else?
Probably. Hanging out somewhere. Yeah, so our end goal is to be able to grow our own food here on the property. That means animals and plants.
We also want to use the sun to power everything here. We're completely off grid. There's no services out here, so we're going to have to build our own solar setup, which we'll talk about a little bit more later.
But we're also going to be using the rain as our main water source.
Right now we haul it from a well, but eventually we hope to be able to catch all of our own water from the rain. And this roof on this solar shed is our first step towards that, so we're really excited. Our long-term goal here is to live off the land and be as self-sustaining as much as possible. We want to build naturally, we want to run our own power and our own water and do all that by ourselves and not be reliant on the grid for anything.
Yeah, that's a long ways off.
We have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, but we're ready to do it.
Yeah. Speaking of, let's talk about this solar shed. This Hyperadobe EARTHBAG solar shed.
That was supposed to be a straw bale solar shed, but then COVID happened and prices jacked up. So we thought, let's just build it with dirt.
Yeah, we wanted to explore this type of building anyway, and so this is sort of a small test building. It was just going to be like a tiny building to house our batteries and our inverter for our big solar setup we'll be doing eventually. But then I was like, I really need an office. And then we also thought, well, we could also squeeze a guest room in there. As long as we stay under 200 square foot here in the county, it's considered a shed and we don't need a permit for it. So we squeezed every last ounce of square footage we could out of this tiny little building, and it's going to be all 3 of those things. It will have a guest, the circle area will be sort of a guest bed and couch. And then the main area will house the batteries and the inverter and have a nice big desk area to work at.
Okay, and a lot of you are asking how we're going to put all these solar panels on our roof.
Just because we call it a solar shed doesn't mean there will be solar panels on the roof.
There will not be any solar panels on the roof because our roof is slanted north.
Right.
To take advantage of passive solar.
Right, so it's pointed the wrong way, but the overhang is to let sun in through those top windows in the winter and have them shaded during the summer. So we will be building a completely separate solar array with all of our 30 solar panels eventually, and that will be about 100 feet away from this building, and we'll trench the line into it. That's why we have some big pipes in the side of the wall.
So just as a reminder, our solar shed is not housing our solar panels.
Yes, that is correct.
Just housing all the equipment for our solar.
Mm-hmm. And we are using the roof on this to catch rainwater.
Yes.
A lot of you have also been asking about our solar setup and what we're going to be doing in here. Rest assured, we'll do a full video series when we get to installing that, but just sort of as a quick primer, what that will be, it will be a 7,200 watt solar panel system that's going to tie into a 28 kilowatt hour lithium battery bank, and we're sourcing those batteries overseas. We're going to reconfigure them into a 48 volt configuration and set up an inverter and all that kind of stuff.
And Jonathan will be doing all those videos as I zone out.
No, I'm going to need your help. Yeah.
I will help you hook things up, but I have no idea what words you're saying.
Yeah. It's going to be a really large system, and it's going to be really cost effective too. And so we're excited to be able to share all that with you when we get there. We're just about to order the batteries because they're going to take a while to ship. So we want them here before the summer because it's going to be hot. But yeah, we're working on that. That's sort of the next big project, but we got to get this thing closed in and ready to receive all that stuff first.
While we're talking about the solar shed, let's talk about what is coming next on this build.
Now that we're basically done with the roof, we get to move on to all sorts of other exciting things because we are so tired of the roof.
Right.
Yes.
The first order of business is to get this closed in. We have lots of gaps between the top of the bag and the roof line. So we will be cobbing that. We might use bottle bricks. We're still playing around with a couple ideas on what to do there.
All right. We might frame some of it. We might bottle brick some of it. We got to figure that out soon. Yeah. Really soon. Yeah.
I think that's the next step.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow.
Yeah. Because what we want to do is we want to get this building completely closed in from the elements. And we have the doors and windows. That doesn't really help to install those if we still have all this space up above near the roof, right? Now you have some other ideas too.
Right.
Some other things.
Guys, we are not done with EARTHBAGs.
No.
We have more bags to do.
Oh, why?
There will be a bench that goes... It's really hard to explain, but the majority of the perimeter of this building will be a bench.
Okay.
It's really hard to explain. We'll have to get to it when we are at that point.
Yep.
But just know we are not done laying bags.
Yeah, we've got a few more things, and also you're talking about putting some bags out from the buttresses to hold plants and stuff too, right?
Possibly.
Possibly.
My plans may have changed.
Okay, all right.
We'll talk about that later.
Oh, and another thing that we keep forgetting to talk about and that people keep asking about is the front door. Will it have something over it? Because right now the roof doesn't really hang out that far over the front. It's just for that passive solar.
Yeah, we actually do have plans to build an overhang there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure at what point that comes on the building, but it will be here eventually.
Be pretty soon, yeah. It'll hook into that huge lintel that runs over the top. We have 2 6x6 posts that we'll probably use to support it. We still got a cob over everything, not on the outside, but inside. It's not going to look like red worms forever. And some people think that it's just going to be like this, and all these hurricane straps we put in are going to be exposed and they're going to deteriorate. And I'm like, guys, seriously.
It will all be covered, and you won't even be able to tell that there are bags in the wall.
Or straps, or anything. Yeah, you won't be able to see any of it.
Just wait.
Just trust us. We got it.
You may have also noticed that our floor is still a big pile of dirt. That's because we're still debating on the best way to put our floor in and the best time to put the floor in.
Yeah.
It will be some sort of earthen floor, but the details are a little vague.
Are yet to be known.
Yeah.
But we're going to worry more about the cob first before we worry about the floor too much.
Right. So outside cob, then
maybe floor,
then maybe the inside cob. But you have to do electric before that.
That is true, and that's another thing people are asking about is how the wires are, where all the wires are going and how the electrical works. And we have some videos way back at the beginning of this where we talk a lot about how we ran all this stuff, but I'll try to give you a quick rundown.
I'll space out again.
Yeah, this building is unique because it not only needs to receive the power from the solar panels, but it also needs to send the power to our RV, to our eventual house, to potentially other buildings. But it also needs to run the power to things inside this building, like lights, and there's going to be a mini split air conditioner, it might be a fan,
Computers.
Electricity plugs, normal stuff like that. There's going to be a TV in here. So basically we're just using PVC conduit run through the walls to help us get the wire from either the rectangle building to the circle building, or from inside the building to the outside the building, or outside the building to inside the building. There's lots of PVC all around at strategic locations. We've already sort of wired up everything and we've thought about it. When I say wired up, I mean we've done the schematic for it and everything. So we know where everything's going.
And when you say you thought about it, not we thought about it.
No, you helped.
Not really.
You did.
You should have let me try to explain all the electric stuff. That would have been fun.
Also, if we did forget anything, we have the option to run up into the rafters and drop down somewhere. And essentially, any of that Romex that gets run into those boxes or along the wall will just get cobbed over.
Yep.
And you won't ever see it, and it'll be fine. Flexibility.
That sounds great. Babe.
Flexibility. We've also had some specific questions from our Tiny Shiny Homies, which is our membership support group, and they had some really great questions that we want to answer specifically right now.
You said specifically a whole lot, at least twice.
At least. Okay, I'm going to answer.
Specific question.
Here's a very specific question. Is there going to be a gutter system leading to a cistern? And if so, how big will that cistern be?
Yes, there will be a gutter. Mm-hmm. I've actually sent off for a quote already for a seamless gutter to be made. Mm-hmm. And it
will be on the back.
It'll only be on the back because our roof is slanted that way. Mm-hmm. And it will lead to a cistern. We're unsure of the size because when we start talking about water catchment, we also have to think about where we want all these storage containers long term. Like when we start building our house, where will all that water be stored?
Right. So even right now, the big 2,600 gallon tank we have sitting right outside this building, that's not really its permanent spot.
No.
And we want to kind of have them dug down into the ground so that they're not super tall. So we have a lot of planning to do there to make sure we put those in the right space and that we budget enough space for them should we ever want to expand that system.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure we will want to expand the system at some point.
So in order to figure out where all of those storage totes are going to go, we first have to figure out where our house is going to go. We do have a general idea.
But not a specific idea. You see how I tied that in? Yeah. Was that good? Yeah. Okay. My parents asked, how will the flooring be installed to ensure that surrounding water runoff during the monsoon doesn't do damage or get through? And also so that bugs, ants, scorpions, and snakes don't get into the building.
They're just concerned about when they come and stay in this building.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see.
Okay.
I see. Okay. I got
We'll
you.
answer that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of earthworks that is going to be done grading the ground from this building out to where the ground comes up at the building so no water will ever sit here and seep in.
Right.
But also we'll be doing the benches like I told you before, and that will act as a border for any water damage that could possibly come in.
Right. Now, I don't know about keeping bugs and stuff out. I mean, there's only so much we can do, right?
We did leave one hole in this circle area just to see if a snake would come in when our guests appear. No.
That would be great. Maybe a little pipe that we unscrew.
Little trap door that nobody knows it's there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
I think we should add that.
Okay.
We have somebody who's asking us what the front entrance is going to look like. So what will the front door look like? Are you going to have like flowers around the entrance? Are you going to have like a walkway leading up to it, stone, gravel? What are you going to do for the back porch?
Whoa, hold on. Let's just answer one at a time.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, the front entrance. Imagine, if you will, flagstone at the entry.
And a nice big overhang.
Yeah. There will be plants that hang from the overhang.
Draping down.
Yeah, there'll be cactus everywhere. Yeah, and benches. And it'll look really cozy and welcoming.
Yeah, it'll be a cool office.
Yeah, and we are going to be painting the front door, but we don't know for sure until we see what our caulk will dry like. We want to see what color that ends up and then go from there.
But it's just like a standard front door from Lowe's. So
right,
it's not
fancy.
We want to have like a cool hand-carved, wood door in our house, but for this, we're just keeping it simple.
Yeah, fancy stuff on the house.
Yeah. The pathway. What are we doing?
Pathway.
Are we gonna do like a path up to it?
Oh, guys, my big idea is to have flagstone, especially on this back porch area because it's in the shade most of the day, and that would be a great place to hang out, especially for the dog. Like, he would love to just lay on that cool stone all day.
Yeah.
And it would look really nice, easy to clean.
Yeah.
But it's also pricey, so we'll see when we get to it.
Yeah. Also, we are going to use that back porch area for deep freeze storage. And that's why we ran some electrical outlets out there, so that way it's always in the shade. So in the summer, hopefully those deep freezes won't have to work too hard. A lot of people do that out here in Arizona. They'll keep a deep freeze out in the shade, and it seems to do okay for the most part. So
we'll
find out. And then a path. So you're talking about a path up to it. We hope to have eventually all sorts of interconnected paths everywhere here on the property.
That's way on
That's
down
a
the
long
road.
way from now. We'll get there eventually. For now, we just walk on the dirt, and it's okay.
Yeah.
We also keep getting asked a lot how in the world we're sort of doing this every day. We're working on this project, we're filming, we're making the videos, and a lot of people don't realize, but YouTube is not our full-time job. And so I'm still working during the day, and the kids have school, and you have a zillion other things to do on top of all of this work that we're doing on the solar shed. So we thought we'd shed a little light on sort of how we're managing that time and what it takes to actually make a video every single day.
Should we talk about hour to hour what we do?
We could try that, yeah.
Okay.
So we get up and
We're 7. We get up with the sun.
The kids go out and do their chores, and they take care of all the animals. They are amazing that they do that by themselves.
Without even being asked.
Fist bumps, high fives. Yeah. We did good. And so we get up, and the Airstream, our bed is also our dinette. So we have to spend all that time converting it back into a table and sort of getting all those blankets and all that stuff kind of put up. And they play with 9-9 and get him worn out in the morning, and we usually sit down and start working. So you are working on the video for the day because we're usually several days ahead on what we've shot. So you're editing for what we will post for the next day. I run a web design and development company called 47 Media, and I still have lots of clients and lots of work that I need to do there, and that actually pays the bills and allows us to put money into these projects and to feed ourselves and all that fun stuff. And so I'm doing that as much as I can, in the morning, as early as I can until probably after lunch. Is usually kind of our schedule. When the kids are done taking care of the animals, then they have schoolwork to do because we homeschool.
Yeah, and then so I'm working, and then it's lunchtime, so it's the whole everybody works together to make lunch.
Yeah, sometimes you make it, sometimes the kids make it,
Right.
Sometimes I don't usually make it.
No.
But, sorry.
No.
I'm usually working with clients.
Yeah.
But yeah, we try to eat pretty quick and get it cleaned up. And then sometimes I still have some more client work I need to do. And sometimes you have some errands you need to run. But usually we are sort of back at this in project mode by early afternoon.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah. And the goal is to stop before dinner time, but that has not been happening lately.
This roof has been kicking our butts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we will, and here's the thing you got to remember, like we don't just walk out here and just start working. I mean, before we even do that, we have to plan and research exactly what we're gonna do. We have to have the materials here ready to go. It's a ton of like time and research before we even get to actually doing anything.
And it's a ton of time getting everything out from the garage in here and in work
Getting
mode.
it set up each day, because the weather out here is so crazy you can't really leave anything out because the wind could blow it away, or you could have a freak thunderstorm come in and like ruin all your stuff. And yeah, so there's a lot of setup and tear down. But again, like the kids are awesome. They help as much as possible.
With very little argument.
With very little argument. We work, pretty late, usually right up until dinner, sometimes even till after dinner, and then usually there's even more editing that needs to be done.
No, there's the transferring of all the things that we've shot to get ready to edit.
Now that's another thing is at the end of every day I try to transfer all the footage from each of our devices into a folder so that it's ready for her when she comes in to edit.
Yeah, but then after work and after dinner, there's more editing. There's more checking the video.
Double checking it. You got to get it uploaded. You got to get a thumbnail image. You've got to like put all the information in, the tags and descriptions. We got to share it. We always try to share it early with our tiny shiny homies. Mm-hmm. So we try to send it out the night before. It goes out the next day. So we send that out.
And then we're in bed by like 10.
I'm just getting tired talking about it. And then we got to do it all over again tomorrow. Yeah. So anyway, all I have to say, it takes a ton of time and work, and we've noticed that a few people lately are like, why, this video was shorter. Well, sometimes it's just shorter,
But also, how many screws do you want to watch him put in? I mean,
True.
Really.
We're at a point, like at the beginning,
at the boring stuff.
At the beginning of this, it's really fun to watch those earth bags get filled up and the thing go up, and the whole family was really involved a lot more in it. But the last week or two, it's just been like two of us up on the roof screwing things in for hours and hours at a time, and so there's only so much you can do there.
Right.
And there's been a few days where we just didn't get much done, like between life, and all the stuff. And so sometimes we have short videos, sometimes we have long videos. When you make them every day, that's just what happens.
But thanks for watching.
Speaking of all that, as you can imagine, this is a crazy endeavor for us. It takes up so much of our time, and we love getting to share it with you and connect with you guys. But if you do want to help support us, we do have a few different ways you can do that.
What are they?
So the first way is we actually have some apparel for sale on our website. So if you go to tinyshinyhome.com/shop, we got a few fun shirts there. We've got I Milk the Goat and I Like It.
Did we do that one?
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did. It's up there. You can buy it.
Why don't I have that?
I don't know. We have I Milked the Goat and I Liked It. We've got a Pollo Supremo. We've got
Desert Predators.
a Kuni Kuni Matata. We've got all these like just fun sort of homesteady shirts that we really liked. Oh, the Close Enough shirt.
Oh, yeah.
With the level, it's like just a little bit.
Someone ordered that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if you want a cool shirt that's really comfortable, we make sure that we worked with Cotton Bureau, and they make really comfortable shirts, and they do a really great job, and they print it and fulfill it for us. So we really appreciate them. But you can grab one at tinyshinyhome.com/shop.
We also have a tiny community called Our Homies.
Yeah, the Tiny Shiny Homies.
Yeah.
So it's a membership. And so you get kind of early access to videos like we mentioned earlier. You get behind the scenes stuff that we don't really post anywhere else. You get input on future projects. If you sign up at certain levels, you can even get a really cool sticker that you can't get anywhere else. And you'll probably notice at the end of some of our videos, we list people who support us. And so that's for like the higher tiers. We'll put you in every YouTube video that we put out. So yeah, if you want to do that, that's at, tinyshinyhome.com/homies. Yeah, you can go check that out, and just kind of just helps us keep doing this. The more people we have sign up, the more videos we can make, the longer those videos can be.
And the less client work you have.
The less websites I have to make for other people. I am very distracted with my client work, and so it'd be nice if I had a little more focus on the project stuff here. Yeah. Yeah. I can see you like that. Yeah.
Guys, thanks for staying with us through this long question and answer, as well as following along on our adventure.
Yes, and we promise we're going to get back to the build tomorrow. We're making some really good progress on the roof, and we can't wait to be done with that so we can move on to this other stuff that we've been talking about. The fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another video tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day.
We will see you then.